Welcome to Micronics Capital Markets Day. My name is Sven Chetkovic. I'm the Director Investor Relations at Mycronic. We are happy to see so many of you here. In addition, we are broadcasting this Capital Markets Day live, so we will have viewers online as well. Welcome to you as well. We have assembled the complete corporate management team at Mycronic, flown in from different parts of the world, almost, because due to Chinese COVID rules, Ivan Lee, our head of the High Volume Division, could not leave China, and he will be with us online today instead. There will be a 15-minute break with refreshments at 14:20. And I would also ask you to please save your questions for the Q&A session at the end of the presentation, at the presentation part. After the Q&A session, there will be a demo of Highflix machines, which will be in here, and also a tour of the Highflix production area, which will be there, and also of the pattern generators production facilities. And they're all one floor below us. And you will, on your name tag, in addition to your name, also have group 1, 2, or 3 on your name tags. And after the Q&A session, the groups will gather, group 1 here, group 2 there, and group 3 where the cameras are. But I will repeat this towards the end of, after the Q&A session. Also, I should mention that today's presentation will be mailed out to all of you who participate, and for those of you who follow us online via the live stream, it will be made available on our website. And with this, I will hand over first to our CEO, Anders Lindqvist, which will be followed by our CFO and Senior Vice President Corporate Development, Pierre Brorsson. They will present first Micronics Group strategy, and then also elaborate on the new financial targets that we press released this morning. Please go ahead, Anders.
Okay, thank you very much, Sven. And I say welcome as well. Very nice to have you here. All right, so I will present our strategy, and Pierre then will talk about financial targets and financial performance. To start a little bit about Mycronic, I think I know that many of you know this company better than I do sometimes. But Mycronic, we have our roots from a little bit different places. What is common is that all of them, we have more of 40 years of experience of innovation. So the very common denominator is innovation in our company. We are present everywhere where there is electronics production or production of electronics. We are present, and currently we are in more than 50 countries, present in different ways with our own companies, but also through distributors and agents. We believe in innovation, and we believe in patents also. We have more than 500 patents in the group. I believe it's important to protect our intellectual property and also fight for it if it's needed, which have happened. And today we are more than 2,000 people in 12 different countries. And being present everywhere where there is electronics production means also that I think we recently announced that we are opening up in Mexico, our sales and service company, because we see there is a good potential to capture a growing market in Mexico for production of electronics. So we are soon in 13 countries with a little bit more people. During the years, we have together sold more than 28,000 systems and to more than 5,500 customers. If we look what we want to be, our vision is we want to be the most trusted partner to the creators of tomorrow's electronics. So we want to participate in the future of our customers. And we will do that by being the leading solutions provider. And we put a little bit of frame on the market and say this is for the production of electronics. This is where we belong. And in selected niches. And those niches we want to select where innovation makes a difference. Because our edge is really innovation, and we believe that we can create profitable growth by being present in that kind of niche. And also, what has been very important is to build up a recurring revenue platform. We have almost 30% of the group's revenue is now aftermarket, which is a very solid base. In patent, it's even up to 37%, I think. And this gives us a very, very good platform to build on for the future. Our principle, I call it our guiding principle. This is like a rule book, or the rules we live by. So I can start anywhere in this circle, but if I start in the long-term sustainability mindset, it's not only sustainability when it comes to environment. This is really a mindset among our people to cooperate and to contribute to a healthy work environment, to a safe work environment, to an inclusive work environment with diversity, and so on. And of course, also to invest ideas in sustainable solutions. Leading to dynamic, people-centric culture. We want to take responsibility, be accountable, collaborate, and so on. And then proactive customer-centric approach. And with proactive customer-centric approach, what we really mean is to really understand what is value for our different type of customers and how do we deliver that value to them. And that is different in different segments and with different customers. And then purposeful innovation. This is really understanding our customers' future needs and how can we contribute to their success in a sustainable way. Lena and Christina will talk a lot about sustainability soon, but if you look on environmental impact, the largest part is through our use of our products. So through innovation, we have a good or a great opportunity to improve the whole electronics industry, at least where we participate. And our ambition is to grow in a sustainable and profitable way. And you saw this morning that we announced new financial targets with continued focus on growth. This is a little bit similar to what we have been doing the past years. We want to continue to grow, but in a profitable way. We don't believe in non-profitable growth. I think that is like empty calories. It's work for nothing. So ensure profitability along the way. The way we run our business, and all the divisional presidents will talk much more about the respective divisions, but we have chosen to run our business in 4 different divisions, each of them with a unique strategy, focusing on very precise market segments and applications with a unique portfolio serving these different segments. And this, we believe, is creating the maximal focus in the market. So starting with pattern generators, doing mask writers today for the display and semiconductor industry. Charlotte will talk more about that. The Highflix Division is selling assembly products for PCB assembly to the Highflix market, which is characterized by low volume, small batches, very high quality, frequent switchovers, where you can find this typically in the medical industry, industrial, aerospace, and defense segments. High volume addresses the high volume market, of course, which you can see mobile phone, consumer electronics, computers. Main application for us is dispensing here, but we are also expanding the portfolio, doing more things in this segment. And last, global technologies, where we sell very unique technology to fast-growing segments. And today, we have electrical testing equipment for the PCB market, and we have ultra-high precision die bonding equipment, mainly to the datacom and telecom market, but also aerospace, defense, medical, and automotive is here. What is common is that in each segment, we are number 1. So in the pattern generators, we are the number 1 mask writer company in those selected segments where we are chosen to be present. In the Highflix division, we are the number 1 solution provider for the Highflex market for PCB assembly. And in high volume, we are also the number 1 solution provider in the dispensing with the core in dispensing. And in global technologies, in those selected a little bit narrow niches, we are the clear market leader and technology leader in those. But you will hear more about the divisions soon. I will talk a little bit about, you saw all the press release, I guess a few weeks back, that we are contemplating and evaluating the possibility to list our Chinese company Axon on the Shanghai stock market. And this is still an evaluation, no decision on that, but we believe that to list Axon on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, which is the star market. The star market is the high-tech market. So just to qualify for the star market is a quality stamp in itself. Only the best companies are able to qualify for this in China. So this will strengthen our brand, our reputation, both among current employees, future employees, customers, and suppliers, and so on. So we will be a more powerful and well-known company, especially in China, of course. It will also give us the opportunity to compete for talent by designing attractive incentive schemes connected to the IPO. The China talent market is extremely competitive when it comes to the super best talents. And companies that have this kind of incentives plans normally are more successful. And we want to be a very attractive employer. So it's both for the current employees and future employees, of course. And create an advantage when we want to grow through acquisitions. It's an advantage for the acquired company to belong to a listed company. It's an advantage we can pay with money we get through the listing, and also, of course, shares that we can give. So we have more tools and more ability when it comes to acquisition. And be a more attractive supplier and corporate citizen, which means that in relations with local governments and so on, also have a better position. And all this together we do really because we believe that there is more potential for Axon in China than we actually explore today. Axon has been extremely successful. We have grown on average 40% every year the last 5 years. But even that, we believe that we can capture an even bigger potential. And this is a way to be able to participate in that journey. All right. Now I will hand over to Pierre to talk about numbers.
Thank you, Anders, and good afternoon, everyone. I will then speak a little bit about the new financial targets, which we have communicated this morning, but I will start by looking at where we are when we set these targets. This is our performance over the last 10 years. You can see that this company has been taken from a 1 billion SEK company to today, where we are approaching the target, which was set in 2017, of 5 billion. We have an annual growth rate of about 14%. Of course, a little bit boosted by a weak Swedish krona, but also without that, this reflects a double-digit growth underlying both organic and through the acquisition that has been made over the time period. On the profitability, we have 2013 was the last year where we were below the current financial target, or the previous financial target, I may say now, of being above 15%. So this has been a very profitable company for the last 7-8 years. We have also had a target with regards to our leverage, that we should be less than 3 times our EBITDA in terms of net debt. The company has not been indebted for a while, so this has not really been affecting us so much, but it has been there creating the frame. So this is what we have done in the past. We can also see that we are at present getting more meaningful contributions from all divisions within Mycronic. This company has, if you look to the right graph, you can see that 2019 and 2020, almost all profit in the company came from the pattern generator division. And we would not like to eliminate that, of course, but we also need contribution from other divisions. And this year, about half of the profit is actually coming from the other divisions already. And we want to build on that and ensure that going forward. We have a strong balance sheet today. This may be good as the environment is a little bit unsteady, to say the least. but it also gives us the possibilities to act when we see opportunities. We don't intend to have a strong balance sheet for the sake of only having a strong balance sheet. We also want to take the opportunities that come through that. We have an equity ratio of more than 60%. We have 500 million net cash position, and we have 2 billion of credit facilities that we can draw on should we need to. So good track record, more contributions from all divisions, and a solid financial position. This is what we have as a base when we set our new financial targets. And they are, of course, set in a time when things are a little bit unsteady, but we see this long term, and we have put the time frame also to be long term, 2027 to 2030. So latest 2030, we aim to be a company which is having a turnover of 10 billion, a profitability of 2 billion, and this should happen at the same time as we reduce our carbon footprint by 2. And this is measured in absolute and not relative terms. So net sales, we have conducted a strategy work during the spring this year. All divisions have strong positions, as Anders mentioned earlier. They also see distinct opportunities for growth going forward. So the organic growth will be the foundation for reaching these 10 billion. On the profitability side, yes, we have been doing 20% profit historically, and we are aiming to get back there, even if we will have a year this year slightly below. And we also want to be above this 20% throughout the journey to the 10 billion. And this we want to do cutting our emissions, our own emissions, by 50%. This is not the largest environmental impact from Mycronic, and we will connect to the science-based targets to also include the use of our products, which is actually the larger portion of our footprint. This is what we need to do our part of the Paris Climate Agreement, and we are very motivated to take this challenge on as well. Christina and Lena will speak more about it, but before doing so, I would just like to mention a little bit on what we are looking at when we are looking at potential add-ons to our business. We look at businesses, place businesses, both industry-wise and target-wise in this matrix. And on one axis, you have the standalone attractiveness of that niche, that business. This is how profitable it is, the competitive landscape in it, technology, how high that one is. Anders mentioned innovation as one criteria. So we have that on one axis, and we have on the other axis how well this fit with us. We call it here value-added logic. How close is it with our current customer? How close is it with our technology? Are we enabling things with our technology or being enabled by adding this technology? For the divisions, which we have now since 2 years, totally responsible for their profit and loss statement, they should look where the value-added logic is high. The company target may not be as attractive, but there should be synergies by bolting this on to this division. When it comes to the group, we have also a small strategy M&A team on group level. There, the focus is to invest in the right companies for Mycronic. And we are supposed to serve the electronics industry going forward, and it needs to have a standalone attractiveness, which is very high in itself. Is it high value-added logic? Yes, this is good, but this is not the only criteria for doing these type of acquisitions. So this is how we will look at it, and as mentioned, we are ready to look at the opportunities even in times which are a little bit unsteady. And with that, I leave the word via Sven.
Thank you, Anders and Pierre. And now we will move over to sustainability and we will have Micronics Senior Vice President Global Functions, Lena Båvegård, presenting together with Sustainability Manager, Kristina Svantesson.
Hi everyone. In the world of business, the sustainability topic just keeps growing. Sustainability is no longer a topic just for niche investors or specific industry. It concerns everyone, all investors and all industries. And in today's presentation, you will know more about how our strategy looks like, how we work today, and our work forward. So, to be a trusted partner of our customers, which is our vision, it's expected from us to do our part to a transition to a more sustainable electronics industry. And we have 4 guiding principles supporting our vision, and one of them being to have a long-term sustainability mindset. And we are committed to be a driver in the electronics industry to make it more sustainable. And we will report on our progress.
So this commitment is supported by actions in 3 key areas. So if we start with innovation for sustainability, here we take advantage of our innovation know-how in two ways. First of all, we work to reduce our environmental, our climate impact of our products. But secondly, we also look for disruptive technologies and new solutions that could be game changers in our industry or elsewhere. When it comes to climate impact from our own operations, so as Pierre just talked about, we are now clearly aligning our financial targets with our climate target. So the target is to cut our own CO2 emissions by 50% to 2030. So this is an absolute target. It might be adjusted if we acquire a new company, for example, or if we divest. So this will change soon. So we will commit to set science-based targets that will cover both the climate impact from our own operations, but also impact from our products. So Future Engineers Through Diversity, that's our program to foster diversity and inclusiveness and equality within Mycronic, but also in the communities where we act. So we have a challenge, like many companies in our sector, to attract talents to our company. We need a skilled workforce. So one of the ways to do this is to work to attract underrepresented group to the company. So we are targeting not only our employees today, but also future employees. So the idea is that we want to encourage people from all types of horizons to pursue engineering careers. So in addition to these 3 key areas, we are also addressing other sustainability topics that are relevant to us. So that could be trade compliance, that could be employee health and safety, hazardous chemicals, etc. So we are addressing those in different ways. So this is our commitment. It's our strategy for 2030. But of course, this needs to be secured by action as well. So Lena will tell you a little bit more about that.
Yes. So clearly we needed a roadmap for 2030, or actually not one roadmap, but 4, one for each division. Do we need to? Okay. So the divisions have taken the group strategy and adopted it to their specific challenges and opportunities, and have set measurable goals, both short and long term, and in addition set action plans to make sure. And this is a decentralized way of working, which is in line with the business structure and working methods within Mycronic. Because we are convinced that if we take decisions and make commitment, we will have a much more stronger commitment among employees and also reach better results. So now we will give you a few examples of what we have done so far and ongoing initiatives.
Okay. What you see here is the inside of our newest mask writer. It's called the SLX. So this is a really good example of how Mycronic can help customers to reduce their impact in their manufacturing processes. So when it comes to sustainability, our biggest product challenge is the lasers inside mask writers. These lasers consume a lot of energy, and they're used by our clients 24 hours a day. So what we did in SLX is that we changed the type of laser to one that consumes up to 99% less energy. So obviously this helps the customer to reduce their emissions in the manufacturing process. Going forward, we aim to enable the use of this type of laser in all our mask writer models. So if we succeed to do this, it will help Mycronic also to significantly reduce our climate impact and our carbon footprint. So this is the type of efforts that we and the type of solution that we want to find for all our product families. So to do so, our divisions have development plans, of course, and on group level, we have established a sustainable innovation fund. This fund is dedicated to finance projects that advance sustainability within Mycronic, but also outside.
So the next initiative is how we reduce impact from facilities and transport. So on the picture here, you can see the building where we are today. And when we renovated this headquarters a couple of years ago, we did what we can to reduce environmental impact. For example, we exchanged the lighting system to a much more efficient one. And instead of buying new furniture, we used refurbished chairs and tables as long as possible. And that is the same thing we do when we renovate or build new factories for other plants. So for example, a couple of years ago, when we consolidated our US business from 3 units into 1 unit, we put a lot of environmental requirements on that one. And for next year, ATG L&M planned to build a new manufacturing site in Germany. And that building is planned to have 60% less energy consumption compared to a standard building. So we are in a good way when it comes to facilities. When it comes to transports, we still have some quite work to do, and we are evaluating different options, what could suit us the best. So we have, for example, tried to transport goods from China to Sweden by train, and more of our products are being transported by sea. But here we have more things to come, I would say. Yes.
No, that was not the correct one. This is the correct one. Okay. The woman you see here is an engineer working for the High Volume Division in Shenzhen in China. All our divisions have action plans to attract and retain women to the company. So if we take this High Volume Division as an example, they have a dedicated fund to improve female benefits at the company, at the division. They provide trainings on unconscious biases to employees, and they also visit job fairs targeting women, and especially in China, to motivate them to look for jobs at Mycronic. Clearly, in our industry, the gender balance is, well, we're far from 50-50, let's say. So we have quite some work to do in Mycronic and in the industry as a whole. We're working on it. So for example, well, one of the next steps is to create an internal network for women at the company. We also reach out to other underrepresented groups. So it could be, for example, well, immigrants, for example, students from different horizons and so on. And we are doing so through different initiatives. For example, here in Sweden, we are part of an initiative where we provide internships to newly arrived immigrants. And so far, it has been a really good experience for us and for them, because all of them have found a qualified job after the internship, either at Mycronic or at another company.
Yes, so finally, under the responsible business umbrella, we address topics such as anti-corruption, anti-competitive behaviors, supply chain, and trade compliance. And within all these areas, we have policies in place, supported by guidelines and regular assessments. So supply chain challenges, including sourcing of conflict minerals, are addressed through our suppliers' code of conduct. And relevant suppliers needs to sign that. And in addition to that, we also assess and audit suppliers on a risk-based approach. And we are also working on improving this area further. So these were a few examples of what we have done so far and what is ongoing right now. So let's look into the future. Christina.
We got a good movement here.
Yes.
Between us, right? Okay, so I will now talk about sustainability trends impacting the electronics sector. First of all, we see a very rapid regulatory evolution, which will impact listed companies. You have all probably heard of those. We have the EU taxonomy already in place, but growing in scope. We have upcoming regulations such as the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive and new rules on due diligence when it comes to climate and human rights. So these will distinctly increase requirements on companies in this area. It will, for example, be required a third-party audit of sustainability reporting, and the accountability of the board will also increase. So the volumes of electronics in the world is growing, and our daily lives are also more and more connected. So with this comes challenges for the industry. So it's not new challenges, but they are clearly growing. So we see, for example, that the industry consumes more and more energy. We see pressure on scarce natural resources. And we also have the topic of e-waste that you all probably know. We know that electronics are used to violate human rights in surveillance and control, for example. And we have challenges in the supply chain when it comes to conflict minerals and also working conditions in some regions. So these challenges impact Mycronic as well, but to a various extent, I would say. We do address them all in our 2030 strategy. That could be through policies and guidelines and instructions, or it could be by actual targets and clear action plans. Finally, electronics could also be part of the solutions for many different type of environmental and social challenges in society today. So this means business opportunities for us and for our customers. So of course, we want to seize these opportunities, and we do that by focusing a lot of innovation and on R&D.
Yes, so summarizing, we have now talked about our commitment to run a business that is sustainable both for us and for the society. We have presented our strategy for 2030. We have given examples of what we have done so far, and we have also mentioned how we plan to react on trends and challenges coming forward. Going forward, we will continue to implement our roadmap for 2030. And to do so, we need commitment and engaged people. And that means everyone from the board of directors to the CEO, the management team, the divisions, and all employees. So we have assigned responsibilities and actions on all levels. And as mentioned, we will also make sure that we align our goals to the Science Based Targets initiative that will start immediately. And also we will, in addition, in the coming years, prepare our organization for the upcoming new regulations and have a strong focus on innovation, which we see is key for us. So, to conclude, we have a strong commitment and a plan to do our part and help our customers to do their part for a more sustainable electronics industry. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena and Kristina. And now we'll move over to the divisions, and we start with pattern generators, where we will hear Charlotte Samuelsson, our head of Senior Vice President, Pattern Generators, and Mikael Wahlsten, Head of Product Strategy and Development, presenting the division.
Thank you. Nice to see you all. So I would like to start initially by describing what we do and where we are in the electronic industry. So this picture shows how you make a chip or a display in very short. But when there is an idea for a new innovation, when a new design is created, that design consists of a number of pattern layers. And those pattern layers are written by a mask writer. And here in the picture on the top to the far left, you could see our mask writers that are laser-based. The one on the green track is our precision system that do photomask for displays. And the lower one is our SLX for the semiconductor industry. So when the photomask, when the pattern is printed and processed, at the end we have an end result which is a set of photomasks. This is the business of our customers, the mask shops. When the mask shop is ready with the set of photomask, they send it to the manufacturer of the chip or the display panel. And the manufacturer, they duplicate the pattern on the photomask on a substrate, or in the case of semiconductors, on a wafer. And that is repeated until all layers are duplicated, and then the wafer or the panels are split and goes into all the different devices that we use, all of us, every day. The mask shops, our customers, they could be either in-house in the manufacturer that do the components or the displays, or they could be merchants, so their business is only to do the photomasks and send it to an external manufacturer. This slide shows some data on how it is to do a photomask. Actually, this lithography processes that is used is highly cost efficient. Writing a photomask takes actually quite a long time. It could, for writing a photomask for the display industry, it could take days. For the semiconductor industry, it could take hours. But when the pattern that is printed is also very complex and the data volumes are really, really large. But once they are printed, when everything is in place, you have the infrastructure, then you have a very efficient and fast duplication and copying process. So all the infrastructure has been in place for decades and have been fine-tuning, and the photomasks that you print can be used over and over again, are not worn out. So this is an extremely efficient way of producing electronics. And it's quite remarkable when you look at the mask writers. It's only 60 mask writers that supports the entire display industry, which is around $150 billion US. And if we look at the writers for the semiconductor industry, it's about 400. And out of those, about half is laser-based. and they are supporting an industry that is $560 billion. So quite few mask writers supporting very large industries. So this is truly the link between the design and the mass production. It's also a very truly strategic product. And to get more into the details about the market and the product, I would like to hand over to Michael. Before I do that, sorry. Just a few numbers about pattern generator, our division. So in 2021, we had 1.6 billion revenue. A large portion of that, more than 30%, comes from our aftermarket business. We are 300 persons. We are supported by a number of consultants as well. Our customers are the mask shops that could be either captive or merchant. And we have our headquarters here in Sweden, but we have our customers far away. So Japan, South Korea, China, US, and we also have an agent in Taiwan. No, Michael.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte. So the PD division has for more than 25 years gained a very deep industry knowledge within both semicon and display applications. And over the years, we have built up a very unique portfolio of both competence and technology supporting the laser mask writer manufacturing. And this has always been done in very close collaboration with our customers and our industry partners, where we're working together to make sure that our products meet their very challenging requirements. And over the years, we have developed a platform with extreme stability, which is required for display application, because as Charlotte said, it takes days to write a photomask for displays. And during that time, not a single error can happen, because then you need to scrap the photomask and restart again. So stability is really critical. And this is only one example where we have a unique competence, but we also have competence within other areas like this optical designs, and also managing the large patterns and how to process and compensate them. And also we have a unique competence how to handle the large photomasks, because they can be almost up to 2 meters, how to handle them without making small damages to them, and also keep them clean. So that's unique competence that we have within the PD divisions. And our people and their competence is really important for us, because we are really reliant on them in order to continue to innovate and develop new products for our customers. And it takes a long time to learn the industry, and it's a limited community. So our employees is really important for us and to keep them. And we have a strategy to build up a local presence very close to our customers in order to support them well. And that has been proven to be a very appreciated and also successful strategy, especially the last year when it has been very difficult to travel across the world. So having people that knows our system and can support them locally have been really important. So as both Charlotte and Anders told you, we have products supporting both semicon and display applications. So let's start talking a little bit more about the display market. And here we see several long-term lasting trends that are positive for the photomask market. First, we see good development, also continued development for small high-resolution displays, where they come with new form factors. We also start seeing flexible displays in mobile phones. I think maybe you have seen the Samsung displays, where they marketize mobile phones now, where it is flippable and foldable. And also we see positive development for larger displays like IT and TV displays, where we see a larger share of OLED displays going forward. And also we see displays in new applications, and more devices get a high quality display as their main interface, which we interact with, which is nice. And all these positive trends spills over to a good photomask market, since more advanced displays means that there will be more photomask layers in order to manufacture them. And in combination to that, OLED also requires more advanced photomasks. So it's not only more layers, it's also more advanced photomasks. And of course, differentiation drives number of design, and that will also drive the volume market. So I think that this, of course, spills over to a positive market forecast for the display market. And we see positive long-term growth both regarding area and market value. And today, around 1/3 of the photomask area is related to OLED displays and around 45% of the value. That will continue to grow, a little bit slower 22 to 23, but after 23 it will start growing faster again related to the OLED displays for TV and IT applications. So regarding our strategy for our products within display, our strategy is to really enable the display market. And we offer a full portfolio of mask writers for displays, all ranging from the most advanced system, which we call Precision 800, which is used for the most critical photomask, down to the Precision Light series, which is more used for the commodity segment. And combined with that, we have an attractive trade-in offering that support generation shift for our customers and their modernization needs. And we also have a Precision MMS, which is an XY or position metrology tool for a photomask, which we offer our customers. And for the display segment, we have a clear incremental development strategy, which means that when we get new customer requirements, we identify which kind of subsystem we need to improve, modify, or redesign, and then we do that. So by doing that, we can secure that we always meet our customer needs, but at the same time keep the platform stable and even improve the stability over time. So that's typically how we work. And we have a long-term roadmap in place, which we develop together with our customers and our industry partners to secure that we always have solutions in the market when the end customer needs them. And we also actively invest in the installed base and offer new functions also for the already installed mask writers. So if we go to the semiconductor market, it's a little bit the same story as the display. We see a number of long-term persistent trends that would support the market. Of course, it goes up and down, but long-term we see this will be a growing market. Of course, electrification of everything. Cars is just an example. There is a continuously need for doing more calculations, AI, big data, cloud computation, edge computing, and also there is strong growth within communication and 5G, which is really the backbone of our digitalization journey. And as you can see on the right graph here, the growth happen across the different semiconductor production nodes. It's not only leading edge that's growing, but also mature segment is growing. And also you can see in the right figure there that the laser writers is really the workhorse for the more mature production nodes, but you could also see that a relatively large share of the leading edge production is also using laser mask writers or using some steps of laser mask writing. So today, the majority of the photomasks produced in the world are done by lasers. So we used to say it's around 70% of all the semiconductor photomasks are done by laser today. So the laser writers are really an important part of the supply chain and is really the preferred way of doing production if you can from a capability perspective, because they are more cost efficient than the e-beam writers. And if we're looking, if you're looking into the market data, we also see a positive trends here, and this is really in a strong growth period. And this one is mainly related to the leading edge and the EUV development, but we also see part of this growth coming from the more mature segments. And the drivers of this growth is investment in China, but also a big investment by the leading edge semiconductor players like Intel, TSMC, Samsung, etc. But also going forward, a large volume of the photomask will be written by laser. And if we go over to our strategy for this segment, our strategy is to be the industry leader for the laser mask writers. And we offer several different models of our SLX and also have a very rich list of configuration just to secure that our customer can really select the configuration that is cost efficient for them. And all comes with a solid state laser, which is this new laser technology, which is much more environmental friendly compared to the old lasers that the majority of the installed base has today. And when we're talking to the customer lately, I think this comes up as a more and more important for them also to secure that their production is environmental friendly, is to connect to Christina's talk earlier here on sustainability. And for the SLX, we see a really good momentum in the business. It's driven by capacity, expansion, strategic investment, but also replacing these old writers which is typically quite old now because the large portion of the investments in laser writers happened actually 25, 30 years ago. So there's a lot of old writers there that needs to be modernized or replaced. And here our strategy is really to capitalize with the synergies we see with the display segment, both from a technical perspective but also from an organizational perspective, and thus creating a very cost-efficient business and then securing that we have a long-term commitment to our customers. And we will continue to develop this platform going forward, and we also explore if we can find additional business opportunities based on this new platform that we developed. So by that, I hand over to Charlotte, talking a little bit more about the aftermarket business and maybe showing a movie.
So first of all, before doing that, I would like to present SLX. This is a film that we made when we launched it just a few years ago.
Since the dawn of man, humans have been in perpetual motion, developing, growing, and progressing. They've learned how to be faster, more efficient, and perform better and better still, creating technologies that improve how we move, how we communicate, and how we live. And this is only the beginning. Just as people do, Micronics SLX is constantly moving forward. This is a next generation of mask writers for the semiconductor industry. With a new platform that allows for future updates, extensions, and support, the SLX can serve the needs of our customers today, tomorrow, and for years to come. By providing a modern, efficient platform at a low cost of ownership, we're able to meet the ever-increasing demand in the semiconductor industry and help drive evolution once more. We ship right from our factory in Stockholm, Sweden, with local teams around the globe ready to install and support. Faster, more efficient, and forever better. We're ready for the next step. We are born to run.
So a few words about the aftermarket. As I said, it's a very important part of our business. It's more than 30% of our revenue. It consists mainly of recurring service contracts that are all-inclusive. It's a very robust and stable base that we have. It's provided by our global organization. Very many engineers close to the customers. High-skilled, experienced engineers. We also have attractive trade-in offerings to help our customers through generation shift, making sure that they have a modern installed base that can benefit of all the new development going on in the industry. We also provide value-adding products, so we add functions and services, products to the installed base. And since we know, and what also Christina said, a lot of our environmental impact is related to product in use. So we try to focus to get future-proof technology and offerings that are sustainable, helping our customers in their journey towards a more climate-friendly operation. The solid-state laser is one step. We also explore digital solutions to reduce traveling and improve performance for our customers. So to summarize our direction going forward, so for the for the display industry, we really strive to be an enabler of the electronic industry, making sure that the incremental development that Michael is talking about is well in line with the industry, and that we work closely with other peers in the supply chain, and that we have a lot of technology developed, ready to be used when they need it, so that the technology is at hand. The trading program is also really important. They support our customers, and they also is important for us to make sure that we can serve our customers in the best way. In the semiconductor industry, we aim to be a leading provider of laser-based mask writers. And here we have the SLX platform, and it has been a great success for us. It has exceeded our expectations, and we will continue to aggressively invest in that platform and look into new opportunities. And we also want to keep our technology leadership also for semiconductor packaging, where they also use mask writers. And as I said, aftermarket, super important for us. It's a robust, growing business. And here we deliver and strive to deliver excellent customer experience. We want to be a long-term partner. We want to provide them with solutions that they can live with for a long time and that can help them in their sustainability work. So our ambition is to be the #1 mask writer company in the segments where we want to operate and where we are present.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Charlotte and Mikael. So now we will move over to our Highflix division, which will be presented by Clemens Jargon, Senior Vice President, Highflix.
Thank you, Sven. Welcome, good afternoon. I'm Clemens Jargon, and I'm presenting the Highflix division and how we serve the factory solutions for the assembly market here. And you see here an illustration how we improve everybody's life. This is 2 children. One of them wears an almost invisible hearing aid, and this is a masterpiece of electronics. This helps this kid to contribute to communication, to life. And our customer who allowed us to use this picture, they have only been able to produce this miniaturized, high quality, high advanced electronic equipment because they use our jet printing technology, which helps them to create this device for these kids. This is another illustration, an illustration of a PCB assembly line. And what does it do? What does it mean when I talk about PCB assembly? In fact, what we do is that we have factory equipment who helps to bring the components together which you need to make an advanced PCB for electronics application. There's lots of different materials, components. They come in various sizes, small like grain of sand, up to bigger integrated circuits or bigger processors with lots of connection points. And they need to be connected to a circuit board. And these printed circuit boards come in various sizes. They come rigid, they come flexible, they come as a square, round, they come in odd shapes. And these components need to be brought together in a solid, rigidized way with the PCB to make it a final assembled PCB. And this assembled PCB is the electronics part which goes into everything what is electrified, which can be turbines of an energy solution, which is desperately needed in these days. It can be industrial solutions for robotics, or it can be any electronics which you find yourself in your cars. This is what we offer. And what is it about when you are offering a PCB assembly line? It's about throughput. It's about trying to get the best and the most efficient output out of your assembly line. And we have a lot of different process steps, which I will introduce you now in the coming slides to that you see what we offer. But it's not only the hardware. It's about connecting all of these pieces together with software. It's software and hardware. You need to connect not only the different hardware steps together, you also need to be able to connect your production solution to customer's factory. And this is what is important for us, that we offer here a one-stop shop solution for our customers, from jet printing, pick and place, inspection solutions, material handling, and also dispensing and coating equipment for components which might be used in a more harsh environment. What does a jet printer do? A jet printer brings the solder paste on the connection point of a PCB. And without the solder paste, you can't connect the components, otherwise they would fall apart. And here you have very high requirements for high quality solder joints. We can do board revision on the fly, and we allow customers to do very fast, almost zero changeover times when they change over from one to the other product. And this is the true competition here, and a much better solution to screen printers, and also a more sustainable way, because we use much less solder paste for the same, in the same way like others with screen printers do. Typical customers for these solutions are electronic manufacturers who have very frequent changeovers, NPIs for example. This is a truly software-driven platform. It's pure mathematics. It's algorithms which we have developed here, and there's less time for changing over. But also high volume customers who have specific requirements for applications, like the one you have seen on the first page with the hearing aid, they are used to use our technology. And after jet printing, the next process steps would be an SPI, a solder paste inspection machine. This makes sure that there's really no single defect on the board. There is no chance to compromise on a missing solder dot. There's no chance to compromise on not correct volume on a dot. Yeah? And the SPI can make sure that we have a possibility to eliminate any error and to be very accurate and consistent in the way how we deposit the solder paste on the PCB. Manufacturers with high reliability requirements, but any other who wants to secure high yield will use our solution here for an SPI. The heart, the center of a PCB line is the pick and place or the component placement machines. Here we do high accuracy mounting, and here you need to be able, and I talked in the beginning about components small like grain of sand and large processors. All of these different sizes of components need to be handled by a pick and place machine. And this is what Micronics pick and place machine does here. Most important also, I think that we have here a very high utilization, that we have a high throughput, and that we will constantly be able to produce and provide highest quality. And any customer with high value, high quality requirements decides for Micronics component placement solutions. An AOI, an automated optical inspection system, is what we then provide as another solution after placement or after reflowing of a PCBA, because here we would like to make sure that highest production quality is given, that we can improve from the beginning onwards first pass yield, and that we can identify any imaginable process step problem which might appear during the production phase. And we do this by a robust and easy programming solution, also using already here AI. And we really made it to bring AI, artificial intelligence, from being a buzzword into a contributor to our software solution. Everybody of you know face recognitions, which you might use on your phones. That's a similar solution what we have here, that we do high quality pictures from the boards, compare against a database, then we make sure that really nothing can go wrong and that we can deliver highest quality. Just imagine a a mistake would have happened on producing the board, and we send, for example, a board in a satellite into the air, you can't send an engineer to repair it. You need to make sure that everything is absolutely correct. And this is what we can provide by using our AOI solutions. The last part of the MyPro line offering, what we have here, is the material handling solution. I told you about many different sizes of components, but they also come in different packages. You know? They come on reels, but they also come in other packages, in arrays. They come in sticks, and all of these different components need to be provided near to the production line to make sure that we have a constant material flow between the warehouse and the production machine. And this towers helps not only to have constantly the right material at the line, it also helps the operator to avoid that we have misplaced or mispicked components, because the tower, the material handling solution, is connected via software to the pick and place machine. They talk to each other and they make sure that always the right components are provided at the line for the production and for the assembly of the board. Next to the MyPro equipment, we have our MySmart equipment. This is because of our close collaboration with our colleagues from the High Volume Division. Here we provide dispensing and conformal coating solution to our customers, which is important because we have seen that more and more requirements request dispensing and connecting, gluing of components in different ways on PCBAs, and also they require conformal coating to protect boards and components against harsh environments. And you have here two examples. One is our MySmart series, a dispensing solution for different packages. And here you see a spray coater who protects certain areas of a board when it goes, for example, into an automotive solution. The market size is huge. We talk about $6.2 billion. And more than half of this is represented by pick and place machines, which is also the most expensive part of a piece of a factory solution. And the others is screen printers, jet printers, inspection machines. And we see a very stable, very robust growth in our market. I think everybody sees and knows, I think, that really electronics industry is continuously growing. The demand for electronics is continuously growing. And this is what we see is very stable. We also know for sure we have a couple of competitors, you know, and we appreciate competing with them in that market. But we're also proud about that there's not so many of them who can really offer this complete solution what we have in our portfolio. And we appreciate customers coming to us when they need the whole line from us, which we can serve, from jet printing, pick and place, inspection, material handling, and also dispensing and conformal coating. Our customers would like to mount any component on the board. They would like to do it on highest quality with zero changeover times and with the highest possible first pass yield. And I brought a video from one of the customers, a Danish customer, Linak, who produces linear actuators, and they would like to present now how they see the electronics markets and why they have chosen to work with Mycronic.
Linak er en dansk familieejet virksomhed, der er global markedsleder inden for lineære elektriske aktuatorer, som blandt andet anvendes på kontorer, hospitaler og i landbruget. Fra hovedkvarteret på Als producerer Linak en del af den elektronik, der anvendes i virksomhedens løsninger. Tæt på udviklingsafdelingen og tæt på egen produktion. Her spiller automation en vigtig rolle.
Vi investerer løbende i automation her på Als, som for os her på printfabrikken betyder hurtigere og mere fleksibel produktion og kunne betjene vores kunder internt og eksternt. Vi producerer rigtig mange kundespecifikke varianter i små ordrestørrelser helt ned til enkelte ark. Det sætter store krav til vores fleksibilitet, og så sætter det krav til hurtige omstillingstider. Så vi har været på markedet efter en total løsning, der kunne give os netop det.
Løsningen blev en total løsning for El-Traco Automation i form af en komplet SMT-linje fra Mycronic med tilhørende towerløsning til opbevaring og levering af komponenter. Linjen består blandt andet af en My 300 pick-and-place-maskine samt 2 My 700 jetprintere. De 2 jetprintere supplerer hinanden og sikrer dermed den nødvendige kapacitet og fleksibilitet.
Ja, det vi har installeret her ved Linok er en topmoderne produktionslinje, som lige præcis honorerer et meget, meget fleksibelt produktionsmiljø, hvor man fra det ene øjeblik kan køre en produktion på en prototype, et stykke print, til den næste produktion er måske en 100 styks print, og man kan lave den her omstilling mellem de her forskellige produktioner ekstremt effektivt og hurtigt. Og det er det, der er kendetegnet, hvis man skal kunne konkurrere, og hvis man vil og skal kunne producere i Danmark, så er det kendetegnet. Det er simpelthen et must.
Vi har fået en moderne linje, som har øget vores konkurrenceevne i forhold til prototypefremstilling, til den lokale udviklingsafdeling og små ordrestørrelser til interne og eksterne kunder.
Our mission is to continue to grow in the home turf. And when I say home turf, I mean the market which we address here, which is high mix, low volume, but also there are certain beyond that selected applications where we are strong because of our unique portfolio. And here we have a strong market position already. We will continue to grow here because we see us growing and we see the market growing. We want to extend the business into new markets. So Anders mentioned at the beginning that we now extend our business going towards Mexico. We already serve a couple of these tier 1 customers who have already settled there due to the macroeconomic changes. And we will continue to grow there because we see this is a real vast market and we need to be very close to customers. We want to broaden our aftermarket offering, not only by and for being close to customers, it's also because this helps us to build a continuous recurring revenue stream. The aftermarket business is an extremely essential part of our business, and this helps to grow us together with our customers. And we continue, and you have seen the numbers in the beginning when Pierre presented, we will continue to be a sustainable, profitable part contributing to Mycronic, because this is for us essential, because when you're sustainable, profitable, then you can also sustain with your contribution, developing and innovating with your products. Sustainability also means for us that we have to contribute to the sustainability targets from Mycronic. And we don't do it only by the example what I showed with the jet printer. We also continuously improving our operational footprint and then therefore help really to reach our ambitious targets we have in front of us, because this is extremely important for us. We want to be continuously the #1 high-flex solution provider in the PCB assembly market. Our customers continuously challenge us with new product mixes, with new innovations, and they also continuously challenge us with new perspectives. And this is what makes this business so attractive, because that's what we like. We like to be innovative partners for our customers, and we also like to be always available with new products and new ideas to be able to help our customers with zero defect electronics, with highest utilization, to be able here to serve our customers for any product mix they ask us to support with our solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clemens. That brings us to our break. We have served some refreshments here, and we will be back again in 20 minutes' time, so 14:35. Welcome back. Now we will talk about Mycronic's high volume division, and presenting will be Ivan Lee, who's the head of Senior Vice President, High Volume, and he will be presenting from Shenzhen, China, online, because due to Chinese COVID rules, it was not possible for him to be here today with us physically. So over to you, Ivan.
Okay, thank you, Sven. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's Ivan Lee, the head of High Volume Division, also the general manager of Exxon. It is really a big pleasure for me to do this presentation to explain to all of you about high volume business and technology. Now I'm staying in Shenzhen in Exxon's meeting room. So it's so regret for me to cannot join this event on site. However, I still hope I can clear transfer our technology and market information to you online. But you should forgive my poor English language skill. So firstly, I would like to start my presentation from a short introduction video, which explains what we are doing and what we can do. Okay, next slide, please.
From a future you can't see to a reality that you can touch. From a distance to the comfort of your home, to all of the things that light up your life. You can't sense we're there, but we are. We combine. We connect. We protect. We make things smaller. We make them reliable. We make them safer. Our role may not be obvious, but we take pride in our contribution to a bigger world.
Next slide, please. Okay, so through this video, I believe you had already acknowledged what we are mainly focused. Yes, Exxon always focus on the dispensing-related equipment development since 2008. Till today, almost had already accumulated 15 years technical experience. So just like the video show, you cannot sense us, but we are. The glue material application had become more and more popular and also more important in our articles for daily use, not only for connect, but also for protect. After several years of market development and investigation, we finally built our high volume principal target industry, which includes consumer electronics, automotive, semiconductor, and final assembly. The rationale to build such target industry due to we think that all of these are full of potential high volume market and opportunity. And all of this is belong to technical driver. It can take us to go to the next level with a continuous healthy growth. Whatever the revenue or the profit. Actually, for every target industry, we also build a different strategy based on current stage and situation separately. So for consumer electronic during past years, we had already got a big success, especially in Chinese market. Now we will continue to consolidate the leader position in China and expand to overseas. We also had success involved in several EV key parts supply chain, and we will target to expand such application to others, include other parts or other EV brand, so that we can capitalize on the electrification trend. Semiconductor industry belong to a relative earlier stage, whatever from the technical side or the market share side. So we will continue to invest to ensure we can launch the robust products into several attractive segments in time, both for package level and wafer level. The last one is the final assembly, which always share the same customer with the consumer electronic or automotive. The total solutions offer can help us increase the customer stickiness and also exercise our automation ability, which it would be much beneficial for us to expand our product portfolio in future. So now the following slide will do a brief explanation for every target industry. Next slide, please. So before explaining the target industry, I also would like to introduce a common application. Firstly, which across the different industry, we call it PCB assembly. I think just now, Clemens had already explained the PCB assembly called technology. So as we know, whatever a smartphone or a car, there are more and more print secured boards in it, according to the technical development. Maybe for different chip size, for different package, or different function. It's all needed to do different dispensing for protect or connect, like unfair, color bonding, encapsulation, and so on. Combined with the customer's different requirements, include the productivity concern, the product size concern, or the production environment concern. We had launched a seriously modeled machine to meet the customer requirement. Every different machine has their own unique characters, just like big size, high productivity, clean room level, or super high accuracy. Last year, we acquired a local screen print manufacturer, HCC, which means in SMT field, now we can provide not only dispenser, but also the screen print, which all belong to the key equipment in this market. Next slide, please. As I mentioned before, during past years, we had got a big success, especially in consumer electronic industry, accumulate a very strong customer base in China and also overseas. The most typical application is for smartphone manufacture. Almost every smartphone's key parts and key assembly process, we all can provide the fully experienced dispensing solution. Till today, we had built a strategy level partnership with top 10 manufacturers, also top 10, the EMS, and at least the top 5 ODM manufacturers. So for these segments, we had already delivered more than 10,000 sales machines totally for different applications, different process. Additionally, we also expand our solution to other electronic products, like TWS, like smartwatch, such wearable products with more and more competitive solution. Next slide, please. About 3 years ago, we decided to develop the automotive market, especially based on the quickly growth for EV. More and more electronic boards be assembled in the car, which all need to do the dispensing. So till today, we also had launched and delivered several hundred different machines in this industry, especially for now the global top 1 EV manufacturer. The application had covered like coating, the thermal interface material dispensing, and glue porting, and so on. Compared with the consumer electronic industry, the technical requirement is totally different, which for consumer electronic market, it always pursues a super low volume glue dispensing and high productivity. However, the automotive industry normally require a high volume glue dispensing, but a super stable performance with a almost fully closed loop inspection to ensure the production process is always under control and have a very good traceability. So for such different industry and different technical requirement, we need to develop the totally different technical, include the hardware and software. So it also provides a new challenge, but also a new opportunity to us. Next slide, please. Semiconductor industry is a high volume's next important growth point, especially from the profit side. This is also a high technical threshold market, especially in China. This needs a continuous high R&D and market investment. So for this industry, we are developing two different products, include plasma and dispensing, for both package level and wafer level. So Exxon now are cooperating with a third party which provides a unique plasma technology to present a clean solution for microchip and wafer, so that it can reduce the surface tension. Compared with the traditionally vacuum plasma solution, ours can provide a super fast uniform treatment of material and at the same time is particle free. Additionally, as we know, the normally process after the plasma, the next process is dispensing. So it also strengthens our product's competitiveness in this field. Now we also do some research to investigate the possibility and opportunity in semiconductor market for die bonding application. So all of this we are doing just make us to ensure we can launch the robust product into several attractive segments in time. Next slide, please. The last target industry is final assembly, include consumer products or even EV. We find during their back-end production phase, once the dispensing process is required, the typical process after and before dispensing is always similar, which like it showed, it always involves the surface treatment, the inspection and attachment and curing and then unload. It's a similar process. So we connect such requirement from existing customer and then develop the total solution accordingly. We try to create a standard module for separately function, which makes it easy to fabricate to other customers. Due to the labor cost increase and industry 4.0 technology development, we believe for this target industry, there are more and more big opportunity in future. Next slide, please. Okay, so after the target industry explanation, we also would like to do some presentation about the dispensing market and our revenue growth. So during the past years, due to our continuous R&D investment, strictly follow our market strategy and also headquarters support, high volumes business keep a quickly and healthy growth always, which take around 40% CAGR during past 6 years, whatever the revenue or the EBIT. The market share and rank is also improved every year. Like a high volume of now the high volume of Mycronic, the global rank in dispensing electronic market from the number 4 in 2019, and now is already become the number 1 in 2021. So now for us, we aim for next wave of profitability growth. Next slide, please. When we review the global dispensing market size and the market tendency, we also find it always keep growing. Totally, market keeps around 3% CAGR during next 5 years. China still be the dominant market, but overseas market growth is more quickly. We divide the electronic dispensing into different applications, combined with our market strategy. The high volume targets higher than 18% of total global electronic dispensing market. The next step for us, we think it would be continuous develop and improve our product and market in this target industry. And additionally, we are trying to make effort to expand the market from the local to overseas as possible. In the near future, we hope the sales distribution from overseas market can be beyond 30%. We think it is also a very important guarantee to ensure our profitability. And also, it makes a big sense to avoid the more and more seriously competition in China. Next slide, please. Okay, so to align with global finance target and also combine with high volumes, the current situation, we still consider to implement the different action to ensure our next wave of profitable growth, include M&A or new product development by ourselves, which is not in our current roadmap. So from the market side, we will improve our strategy from two different perspectives. One is we call in dispensing beyond industry, which means maybe it's a similar product principle with different application, just like the medical, the defense out of electronic industry. So it is maybe our next target industry. Another is we call it in industry beyond dispensing. So catch the new market share with a new product, but in our existing target industry, just like the attachment machine, inspection for the glue, mainly for the glue, and maybe the metrology, and so on. So additionally, with our growing share of overseas sales, high volume always encourage a diverse and inclusive recruitment strategy, especially regarding the female career and leadership development. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are my mainly presentation from high volume division side. I hope it can help you to understand our business, also our target and our future action plan. So now I also would like to take a briefly summary about the whole presentation. Firstly, for our ambition, we has become a #1 high volume assembly solution provider for electronics production with a core in dispensing. So combined with this ambitious target, we also built our clear strategy based on different target industry, include just for consumer electronic and final assembly industry. We will continue to consolidate the leader position in Chinese market and expand to overseas. For semiconductor industry, we will continue to invest the R&D and technology to launch the robust products into several attractive segments, both for package level and wafer level. And for automotive, we make effort to capitalize the electrification trend to get a continuous health growth in this area. Finally, develop the overseas market to increase the distribution and get a good profitability. At the same time, we will also implement the M&A strategy, or just like this Edison project, to ensure we can achieve the next wave of profitable growth. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ivan. Now we will be moving over to our Global Technologies division, where we will be listening to presentations from Jochen Kleinert, who is the head of ATG Lütteren-Melzer, which is the latest company to join the Mycronic group, followed by Michael Charlson, who is the Senior Vice President, Global Technologies. But first, over to you, Jochen.
Thank you, Sven, and good afternoon, all. Thank you for the opportunity to present here my business 1.5 or more than 1 year after being acquired by Mycronic. The business unit is headquartered in Germany and has a strong presence in Asia, with roughly half of its 190 employees being based there. Now the next slide should come. We develop, manufacture, and sell equipment for the electrical test of bareboard, it means unpopulated PCBs, and of substrates. Where that puts us in the value chain can be seen here on the slide. As Clemens mentioned, PCBs can come in many different flavors, starting from small flexible PCBs which go into hearing aids or pacemakers, up to PCBs more than a meter wide, 40, 50 kilos heavy, 70 more layers, which go then into applications like telecoms infrastructure. In contrast, substrates are small structures which interface silicon die with PCBs, and they are therefore part of the semicon packaging process. Although the structures are much smaller and denser, those substrates are technology-wise very much comparable with PCBs and often made from the same organic materials. PCB manufacturers and substrate manufacturers use our equipment in their quality control process, mostly to identify defects and faults on the PCBs and substrates. These are mostly opens and shorts, but advanced test methods also identify other faults which provide the manufacturer with important feedback for the manufacturing process. We offer 3 product lines for this application. One is the flying probe test system for PCB test. The second is the flying probe test system for substrates, and then fixture-based test systems for high volume PCB test. The flying probe test systems do not require a PCB-specific interface to test the products. Instead, the design data of the PCB is used to derive a test program, which provides then the system with the information where to put the probes on the PCB to do the measurements. In contrast, fixture-based systems require an interface which mirrors the structure of the PCB. It therefore takes time, effort, money to set up a new PCB or new PCB design, but at the same time it allows far faster test, and therefore fixture-based systems are mostly used for high volume test. Flying probe test systems can be used for prototypes, samples, low quantity, high mix production, but also for all applications where there is a good reason not to build fixtures. For example, server boards are normally too big and complex for fixtures, and these are all tested on flying probe systems. In the market of flying probe systems, we are market leader in most countries and for most applications. Flying probers contribute roughly 80% to our system sales. In the market of fixture-based systems, we are a smaller player and concentrating on profitable niches. Let me go into some more detail of our flying probe technology, because we do have there a unique design which gives us a competitive edge. Competitor products are always built based on so-called plotter systems with linear X, Y, Z movement. Our systems cover one of the dimensions by rotating the test head. You will see that in a minute in a video. That allows us to deploy many more test heads in a system. So ours can go up to 24 test heads. Plotter-based systems normally are restricted to 4, maximum 8 test heads, and having therefore much lower throughput. Another differentiator of ours is the fast automation with integration into the factory systems. That, together with the high throughput of our electrical test, allows our customers to test larger quantities with flying probers than they otherwise could achieve. Let me show you a flying prober then in action. Sorry, that was once too many. So now, this is an automated flying probe system for PCBs. It has a pick-and-place system for loading, unloading the PCBs into 2 shuttles to parallelize some steps. Once the PCBs are in the shuttle, they are driven in a test position where the PCBs are first scanned to identify the exact location of the PCB in the machine, and then the electrical test can start with 8 test heads here in this case, 4 on the top side, 4 on the bottom side. After test, the products get unloaded. Here with those smaller PCBs, the 2 PCBs are handled in parallel in 2 shuttles. Once the PCBs under test are bigger, those 2 shuttles are moved in synchronized mode as one large shuttle. In a second video, I show you the test of substrates with the flying probe test system. This is a manual system, which means that the PCB is loaded and unloaded manually into the machine. But otherwise, the process is very much the same as you have just seen with the PCB. What's different here with the substrate tester is that it's far more accurate. So the pads which get contacted can be as small as 15 micron. And the test heads, you see, they can touch down on 30 pads per second and do equally many measurements. So this high stroke rate, together with the number of test heads we are utilizing, gives these machines unmatched throughput. With that, let me come to fixture-based tests. I'm showing here the most recent model, the LM1000. It has a granite base, linear drives, and allows the customer to choose between 2 different fixture designs and concepts. In the end, allowing the customer to choose always the most cost-efficient fixture possible. I show you this machine also in a short video. Similar to the first video, you see here also a pick-and-place system for loading and unloading. Oh, you should see. Once more. Okay, now it comes. So for the loading and unloading pick-and-place system, again, 2 shuttles driving the PCBs into the machine. Here, scanning and testing get parallelized. This is a fixture with thousands of pins here sticking out, which allow then the parallel contacting of the nets and therefore the measuring of PCB in really one go. PCBs with several images normally gets stepped in this machine. Product category at which the LM1000 really excels at because of the stepping required is the category of micro LEDs, mini LEDs. I have now spoken a lot about technology and the edge we have with ours. But apart from the hardware, also the application itself is really important for our customers to achieve their objectives. And this is an area where we cooperate closely with our customers, so to continuously develop our applications and ensuring that these applications meet the future needs of the customers. An example for that is the most recently developed backdrill test, which we developed together with a large customer in the US. This addresses some test requirements for high-frequency boards, and it's now spec'd in by one of the really major OEMs. There's on the one hand side this way of cooperating with customers, but at the same time there's our strong belief that we can only be as successful as our customers are, and that is really reflected in our day-to-day behavior. And this overall might be responsible for the long, deep customer relationships we have. When looking at our top 20 customers, we are working together with these already for more than 22 years. And it goes without saying that we need to be present where our customers are to achieve this. And we do have our own employees in all major production hubs worldwide, or are present with long-time partners like in Korea and Japan. We try to do this all while at the same time preserving the resources. And here I'm referring back to Lena's and Christina's presentation, and will not elaborate in detail. Instead, let me show one slide on the market development. The market research company Prismark is showing a 4.8 CAGR for the PCB industry for the time up to 26. But apart from the market size of our customers, there are other forces at play determining the demand for test equipment. There's on the one hand side the drive of our end customers for zero defects. At the same time, there are more and more complex PCBs with denser structures, higher frequency signal nets, and all that in the end leading to more tests and more demanding tests, and in the end therefore leading to higher demand for test equipment. Many of these trends even favor flying probers over grid systems, fixture-based systems, and that because since we are especially strong on the flying probe side and have a strong market position, that should help especially us. So we are therefore looking ahead into the future with a lot of enthusiasm. And this brings me to the end of the presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. So again, my name is Mike Charlson, and I head the division. And I'm going to be talking about the die bonding business unit, which is the second of the two units within GT. And that came in under the MRSI acquisition in 2018. So we've been under Micronic for 4 years now. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a video, which gives you a quick preview of the die bonding business. Try that again. Nope. Worked this morning. So what is a die bonder? A die bonder is a machine that picks and places bare chips into packages. And similar to the Highflix pick and place machines, but Highflix would be a surface mount, which would be already encapsulated bare chips that go down onto the board. We're one level behind there where we're actually taking chips and putting them into packages with high precision. Die bonding market is huge, and we're addressing a segment of the ultra high precision part of that market. So again, it's bare chips going down into packages, and usually those packages then get built up into higher level assemblies, which I'll talk about some of those markets. And you can see here, we're in the back-end packaging. If you look at the semiconductor markets, the front end would be where the wafer's being manufactured, including SLX. That product line is on the front end, right, manufacturing wafers. The back end would be where the chips are taken off of the wafer and put down into that package, as I mentioned. And they could come in wafer formats or also tray format. And the end product of our customers would be the package. So our customers are using our equipment to build up the packages that then they would sell off or integrate into higher level assemblies themselves. So the first market, which is the biggest market for the die bonding business, is the communications, which is the data telecom markets. And those markets that we serve would be the 5G wireless, and the bigger segment of that market would be the data center markets that we serve. And the platforms that we build, I don't know, that video should be running too. The platforms that we build are taking the small devices and putting them down into packages. And one of the biggest segments in the data center part of the market is these transceivers, which is that long device with the green part at the end. It's about the size of a thumb drive. And those are transceivers. And every data center has over 1 million transceivers in a data center. And that's the device that does the conversion of photons coming off of the fiber internet, right? The fiber going into the data center, into the server, and then it gets converted into electrons, and the processing is done within the server. And then it has to go back out onto the internet, so it has to get converted back out to light, photons. So these transceivers are doing the conversion. So there's photodiodes in there, there's lasers, there's optical devices and lenses. So our machines are integral to this engine manufacturing, this optical engine that goes into that transceiver. And we're putting parts down into single-digit microns, so 2-3 microns accuracy, because when you're dealing with light, you need to be accurate. And the parts themselves are small. It could be like the size of a grain of pepper that we're handling down into accuracies of a micron or so. And now we're getting into sub-microns. So we're placing chips in half a micron for some of these higher end applications with higher bandwidth. So that's a big segment for us. And as you know, that market's growing, right? And it continues to grow. It was growing before COVID, it grew during COVID, and the growth charts are still double-digit growth post-COVID because of the way we work, right? Everything's online now, et cetera, et cetera. Our customers, like Lumentum and Innolight, a lot of these are Asian-based customers, are selling directly to the big guys like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, who are building data centers themselves. So they don't go out to build their data centers anymore. They're all doing it themselves, and they're buying these optical devices from our customers. So we're just 2 levels away from these guys. The second biggest market, and this is kind of where we, as a die bonding business, kind of grew our roots in the aerospace and defense markets. And again, if that video was moving, you could say the head is picking and placing small chips from these little trays into a package. But you can see there's many different types of trays. So unlike communications market where we're doing maybe 1 or 2 different die type, here we're placing, could be multiple dozens of different parts coming from these different trays, and with all different patterns, patterns on the die that we'd have to recognize with vision. So we grew all the vision algorithms and all the database foundational software from this market, and we just applied it to higher speed platforms to serve the higher volume communications market. So a lot of the technology basis came from these earlier markets, but they're still a significant market for us now. And we're selling to customers that are building like satellites, these advanced radar, digital radar systems, again, using transmitters and receivers, like digital devices that plug into these radar systems. So again, high accuracy gallium arsenide devices for the microwave. So different components, but the same idea in terms of transmit, receive. And then also on the medical side, we sell to customers like GE that are building scanning systems for scanners. So we're placing the high density sensor into a package in this case. And then we support governments on their aerospace and defense, and then hospitals and care centers. And then the third market would be the emerging markets. And here we're excited about these because these are kind of the higher growth markets for us that we see. A lot of them are still in their infancy. But again, capitalizing and utilizing and leveraging our high precision, bare die, delicate, high volume type capabilities, we're getting into applications like LiDAR, VR, AR, automotive, and consumer markets. Again, building in a lot of cases, these optical engines that go into these higher volume devices now that support, again, the end products being smart devices and VR and AR, which would then go into, be bought by automotive companies, tier 1 players, and also companies like Apple and Facebook. So this is an exciting segment that we see growth capabilities out of. So looking at all those markets, we're looking at addressable market basically doubling in 5 years to about $660 million is what we're looking at. And the drivers, we've heard it in the other presentations, a lot of common drivers, 5G, communications, the way we're working is different now, so we're seeing a lot of more internet bandwidth requirements. All this is driving that. We're looking at the miniaturization of parts, so the small parts fall right into our expertise. The ability to do flexible type assembly. Again, the background in terms of the ability to do quick changeover, even in our industry, is very, very important, and that will, again, support the addressable market growth that we're seeing. And then after 36 years of doing die bonding, but we've become really well known and pretty good at this very high accurate, flexible, reliable machines. Again, starting off with aerospace and defense, we heard that chips going into satellites, very important that it's reliable. And then adding on the high volume capability of new products that we introduced about 6-7 years ago to support the communications market gives us the fourth leg there, gives us really a great position amongst our competitors, which are some large companies, but then also some mid-size and smaller companies. Very niche-y, some of these areas that we play in. So our goal is to become a technology market leader in attractive electronic niches. And again, we're going to be seizing opportunities organically within the current business units that we have, the test and also die bonding. But then as you also heard that we're looking at M&A, and we're looking at product line extensions, we're looking at market extensions, but we're also looking at kind of standalone-ish type acquisitions as well. And GT will be the division where a lot of this activity will happen in terms of pulling in, incubating companies, and then they either go out to their own division or go into another division, existing division. So thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Mike. This then brings us to our last point, which is the Q&A session. And if you have a question, please raise your arm, and Eija with a microphone there will come to you, and you can ask your question. And then, because we don't want all of us be standing here, we will bring forward the person who should be answering your particular question. So, are there any questions?
If I could have a question for the PG division, so maybe two while I'm at it. We saw this summer Samsung has sort of decided to close down their last LCD production lines. And we also heard LG is sort of reducing the production lines. Is this having any impact in the investment plans for your sort of industry clients at all, or is that part of an already existing plan, so it doesn't really change the way they see investments. So that will be the first one. And then on SLX, how can you sort of develop that and take that to the next level? And what is that next level? Is it sort of pursuing to take it to a 28 nanometer node, or is it something else? Thank you.
So could you please come forward here and take the microphone?
Thank you for good questions. Starting with FPD question regarding if the close down of LCD factories in Korea, mainly for Samsung and LCD, if that impact our business. I would say that it doesn't, because these were already planned before COVID, but then COVID kind of expanded the lifetime of those fabs, because during COVID there was a surge for LCD displays, and then they keep them going a little bit longer. So this closed down and changed OLED technology have been the strategy for quite some time. So I think it's nothing new. It's just that they kept the factory going a little bit longer than they first planned. So. Then regarding SLX, I think there's numbers of ways we can develop the platform. Both as we can do the current machine both faster and more capable, and then provide more value to our customers. And I think it's also possible to push laser a little bit forward, maybe not to 28 nanometer, but currently we have machines down to 90 nanometers. I think it's realistically to maybe capture 65 and something like that. But then it starts to be quite complicated to compete with E-beams. But then also we see that we have developed a very good platform, and there could be other process steps where that platform could be used for. So that is another way to expand.
Thank you, Mikael. We have another question from Mikael Lassén.
Yes, thank you very much. A question regarding the financial targets, and just curious how we should think about the organic growth per segment and the profitability per segment, if you can elaborate a bit more on that.
We have a number of different divisions, and they obviously have different conditions in the respective markets, and they have different starting points as well. We will not break down the targets per division. I think I mentioned in the presentation that we see room for growth in all divisions. We also have stated in the press release earlier today that we expect all divisions to be north of 10% EBIT margin in order to not to destroy any value. That's the hurdle that we all have. If we cannot bring our divisions there, then either it's not a good business to be in, or we are not the right owner, one of the two. So this we will continue to pursue, but we will not break down the target per se by division. You asked organic and M&A. If we look historically, it's been a relatively balanced mix. We said that we will have the emphasis on the organic because that is what we can control. So if anything, the organic should be higher than the M&A part.
Thank you very much. A question on the ESG targets you have that are quite ambitious, and I was just wondering why you have the 2020 year as baseline and not 21. Yeah.
Well, actually, the strategy was developed in 2021, and the divisions also broke down this strategy by the end of 2021. So then it was quite natural for us to have a baseline year at 2020. When it comes to the COVID, I guess that's what your question was about as well. We have set a baseline year for business travel in particular for 2019 actually, because it was not relevant to have a baseline year for 2020 when nobody was traveling. But otherwise it's 2020.
Perfect, thanks. And if I may, another question on the, we learned that steady state lasers is important here for the PG business, and I was wondering how far are you in developing your existing products? You mentioned that the SLX, for example, offer solid state. And then my question is, if I would order a Precision 800 today, would I be able to get it with solid state lasers or not?
I would say you answer that.
Today you cannot order the solid state laser with the display writers, but we are evaluating and we are testing, and we are pretty far in that development. We don't do it ourselves alone, we work with partners, but we have the solid state laser for display writers in our roadmap.
Thank you, and my very last question would be on the CapEx with regard to the investment you will make in Mexico, the plant, if you have communicated that. I want to recall.
Yes, it's not a plant that we are contemplating or trying to set up. It's a sales office that we will. So insignificant investments in CapEx there.
Okay, I think we have time for one final question. If not, then we have reached the end of the presentation part of the Capital Markets Day. To those of you watching online, thank you very much for attending. Hope you enjoyed Micronics Capital Markets Day.